All right, so for this video, we're going to set up a basic enemy. First we need to do is we need to find a sprite to work with. So I'm going to go into my sprites folder and Fantasy Forest NA. And there is a slime here. So I'm going to set the pixels per unit to be 32, point no filter, click apply, then I'll open the sprite editor. And so this is the slime that's going to go forward and back across platforms. I'm going to go in here, go to slice, and I'm going to do by cell count. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This just ensures that the animation plays properly. Click apply, and there we go. So I'm going to take the first and last, hold down shift, and drag this into my scene. And I'm going to save this into my asset folder, animations. And this is going to be the slime anim. Yeah, we'll do slime. And there we go. So we have the slime right here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to rename this just to be slime enemy. Or just slime rather. And I'm going to change the pixel per unit to be 16, just because this seemed a little small. And this way it's a little bit bigger, and that seems about right. Now for the slime, I'm going to add component, and we're going to add in physics 2D, and I'll do a box collider. I am then going to shrink this down and move this so it's right there, and it's still a little too tall, so I'll bring this down a little bit further. There we go. I'm going to give this the tag. I'm going to add tag plus, and I'm going to add an enemy tag. Select the slime again, and then give it the enemy tag. I'm just going to press play. And it is playing the animation. What we need to do is we need it to move forward and back. Now, for the sake of ease, I'm going to take my spike and I'm going to move this over to the side because I don't want it there. I'm going to take the slime and move it over here. And I'm going to give it a component for physics 2D. I'll give it a rigid body. I want it to be able to fall. That way it'll for sure be on the ground. And so now I'm going to go to my script folder, create a new script. And this will be slime script. Slime movement or slime controller. Yeah, slime controller, that works. So don't forget, I'm going to attach the slime controller script now. Otherwise, I will forget to do it later. And now I'll open that up. So for the slime controller, all we're going to do is just make it move in one direction. So we actually already have done this before. We're in a projectile where we make it move along a direction. So I'm just going to copy and paste from projectile into slime controller. I'll leave it right there though. And save this and run it and see what happens. So it goes, and it goes real fast. So I need to slow that way down. Like 1. I'll move this over. So it goes, but then it goes off the edge, which we don't want. What we need to, so it's set to go to the right first, and let's see if that's how the animation looks. So that actually is going backwards, so we want it to move the other direction. So inside of our slime controller position, we want it to be equal to minus equals transform right. So we want it to move the opposite direction. And And so now that looks right, and it is going in the right direction, but again, it falls off the edge, which isn't really what we want. Now we can do this a couple different ways, but really what we want to do is we want to check in front of the slime. And if the edge, if it's not touching the ground, we want it to turn around. So we actually can just create a new empty, and I'll call this ground check. And I'm going to move this over to the right and down, just the edge. And just like we did previously, I'm going to go to where my player combat is. I have this on draw gizmo. I'm going to copy this and paste it into slime. And we just need to give it the reference. So I'll do public transform ground checker. And then we will draw that little gizmo at the point for the ground checker. Back in Unity. Select my slime and assign the ground checker. And I have it just in front of the slime because I want it to check in front of it so it doesn't fall off the edge. But now we need to actually do that check. So inside of Visual Studio, inside of our script, we want to check if that ground checker is touching something. So we can actually look at our code that we've already used in our player controller, where we have this ground check that we set up here for the player, right? So let's go through and see where we have that right here. So physics 2D overlap circle. Cool. So we have a way of checking whether or not we are overlapping. So I actually can just copy and paste that whole line, and I'm going to go here, and it does that inside of update. So we'll go to our update function, put that there. And now I need a public or private bool is grounded. And then we want to do that on the ground checker, and the ground checker radius. Well, let's just grab that from the player controller. Ground checker radius right there. I'll take this and paste that up here. And then we need the ground layer. So I'll copy the ground layer mask ground layer, and put that in here as well. And so we have is grounded, and we're gonna check this. Now what we want to do is for our fixed update, we want to say, well, if is grounded is equal to true, then we want to walk over to the side. So now we can go back to our slime, and we set the ground check layer to be ground. And as soon as we're no longer touching ground, it'll stop moving. So it stopped. Now we just need to flip and turn around. Well, we actually already have the ability to do that. If we go to our player controller, we just need to find where we have this flip thing, this flip function. I'm going to copy the flip function from the player controller, go to my slime controller, and paste that here under update. I'm getting a bunch of errors. No big deal. We need a Boolean for is facing right. So I'll do private bool is facing right. Now we're actually starting out on the left, like the enemy is pointing left. So I'm actually going to set this by default to false, because we start moving to left first. And now we can check to see, well, if we're not grounded. So if is grounded is equal to false, then we flip. And there we go. So we flipped, and we flipped again, and we flipped again. Easy enough.